Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick video on how to install the shift linkage. I'm using the Lokar ACA 1800. This linkage kit will allow you to use the stock C10 column shift column and made it to a 4L80 for your LS swap. Includes everything you need. Pretty simple install. Probably the biggest thing is you will have to bend this rod some to get everything to fit and line up good, but I'll walk you through on how to do it. Alright, so this is the general layout of the shift linkage. This arm here is what goes over the actual transmission selector. There's two different, I guess, threaded inserts you'll call them. These screw and unscrew. And basically just different sizes depending on your transmission. You will thread one into the transmission like that, then put this over, and then obviously tighten it down with the nut that goes with it. This arm will then connect to this here. There is a bolt here that connects to that eyelet. Then this goes through here. You run it up top. This eyelet goes on the threaded rod end, and this goes through your shift linkage. So now I'll show you through how we install it. All right, so we will take this piece here. You'll see that there is a adjusting screw. To make sure that you've got it tightened down, you'll want to have that facing up. We'll then take the bolt, feed that through. Then you do washer, the eyelet, washer, and the nylock nut. And we're not going to tighten it down all the way, just going to get it finger tight. Because we'll need to make some adjustments underneath, but you'll see that bolt fits in there good, and here like this. And again, if this is over your transmission, then this is going to shoot up to the steering column. All right, so as you can see on the gear selector, there's two different bushings that they give you, or nuts. One's bigger than the other. On my application, which this is the 4L80E, it is the bigger thread. Alright, so now I have the shift linkage, as you can see, adjusted. It's about 8 o'clock. We'll go and put on the linkage arm, the nut, and again, we're going to tighten all this up, but this is just temporary for mock-up. And you'll see there's adjustment here, and then the rod will go in, shoot up to the steering column, and we're going to adjust these, the set screw, drill a hole in the rod. I'll show you all that once we get there. All right, so on this end of the rod, you'll take this bolt, and the way that it's set up is the bolt and one washer go through the eyelet. Then it goes washer, the black bushing, then the column shift arm from your steering column, then plastic, washer, nut. Kind of hard to show on the truck, but that's how it's set up. Alright, so kind of hard to see in here, but got it hooked up to the linkage, just loosely fitted to give me room. I can see where I am going to have some interference with my exhaust, with my O2 sensor. So I'm going to have to clock that. I'm going to go ahead and just take it off for right now, and I can put that on after I get this run.
Then we'll figure out about where we need to bend this in order to get it to line up to the bottom.
All right, so here's what I was talking about. This is where the rod comes down from the steering column. This is where the shifter goes up. As you can see, it's not really a straight shot, so we're gonna need to put a little bend in it in order to get it to be free and not be binding up. All right, so the original rod that I got with my linkage kit wasn't long enough. It's too short, so I ended up going to Summit, ordering a new linkage rod. It was only about 25 bucks. I'll put a link in the description, but this one's a lot longer. It will need a small bend, about 4 inches, give or take, from the end, just to give it some room and get it at the right angle. So we'll go ahead and bend that up now and then get it put in. All right, so we're gonna go about 4 inches down on the rod, just a small bend. A little bit more than that. All right, and that's what we get. Should be just about a perfect fit now. All right, so we'll take the bent rod, feed it up through. And we're just going to do this finger tight. We'll also be able to do adjustments. So you can adjust with this bolt here as well as up on the top end. So we'll get it lined up at the top, but as you can see now, the rod comes from there and it'll shoot up into the actual column. All right, so with the longer rod, I'm about 1.5 inches too long. Kind of hard to see, but this is with the nut run all the way up on both of the ends, and then all the way down at the bottom of the adjustment. Kind of hard to see down there. So I've got it all the way up in park, obviously park on the transmission, 1.5 inches. I'm gonna cut it a little over 2, maybe 2.25, because that way it'll give me some adjustment on both ends to be able to get it in and fit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off, and then we'll try, see if it works. Okay, so this is the rods. You can see the difference between the one that came in my kit and the longer one I ordered. I cut off a little over 2 inches, about 2.25, give or take. So it still gives a decent amount more, which is what I needed in order to get it to fit. All right, so with it shortened in, I got it just kind of mocked up in here, but got plenty of room, fits in. So now I'm gonna take it out and drill holes in the actual rod so it can seat into whatever you want to call this piece here. So what I did is I marked the 2 holes, and now I'll go and just put a little bit of drilling in there just so the Allen keys have something to sit in. All right, not the greatest, but that'll give me enough for them to seat in. All right, so as you can see, I got the one in. I am missing the other screw. It decided to disappear somewhere, or I don't know if it didn't come in the kit, but I'll get that one and put it in once I get it, or probably run to the hardware store and figure out which one to use. So let's get it in.
All right, so I've got the linkage bolted in up here on top. It is all the way up in drive or park. Then going underneath the truck. And then you can see it goes straight up to the steering column. So that's how you install a Lokar shift linkage into a Chevy C10 using the factory column with a 4L80, 4L60, any of those transmissions. Thanks for watching, guys.